going to make them stronger and more powerful and more able to make conscious decisions to improve the world around them. But if they keep acting out of fear and react to the world, constantly outputting blame and judgment, then it's not going to work. And I think the same is true whether it's in a political arena or in social media. I find one of my biggest messages is to use the hell out of social media to make positive connections and influence the world in a positive way. It
Correct.
is, I believe that social media is a gift, it is a tool for us to use. And unfortunately, there are a lot of people that abuse it.
Mhm.
The,
Mhm.
the more people abuse it, the more the people, the good people, positive people, shy away from it and don't use it. People are afraid to go on Facebook. It's scary. But I think that the people who are brave enough and who are able to express their opinion, their intentions, their inspiring messages in a strong enough way, I think it's our responsibility to use our voices and to encourage others. And everyone does not need to listen to us, Yobi, and start a podcast. That's not what we're saying either. Use your voice however you are supposed to in
Yeah,
your
no, definitely. In written form, in whichever way you want to. Exactly. Or
exactly.
person to person, one by one.
Yes, in the market, tell somebody you like their outfit. Be nice, be kind to people. And that is where it all starts. That is definitely where it all starts. And that the whole idea of voting, I mean, if you shy away, some people refuse to vote because they don't want to be part of a corrupt system. It's like, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think that's going to fix the system if you don't vote? How are you going to fix it? I don't, and everybody to each their own. I just, if people don't
Of
want to
course,
vote, that's
but
fine.
definitely, as again, and that's where I come from. Research information. If you don't know it, learn about it. Just don't. That's how my curiosity and an understanding, and given that I came from, as I say, a format set. I was not born in this country, but I came to this country a long time ago to understand. And obviously, yes, I did the things that it was to, given or told to me: go to college, get your education, get a job, blah blah blah. But then guess what? All of that changed. My mindset had to change, and I had a lot of
Hmm.
fears in putting out myself, but there was more of a burning sensation, more of an energy to do it than not to do it. And I said to myself that I cannot leave this earth without speaking up of how I feel.
Yes, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And I think anybody who feels any sort of discrimination against them, by the way, whether it's from being from another country or being a different color skin or a different gender, I
Mm-hmm.
want my daughter to think, oh, I'm not going to do that because, they'll never hire me because I'm a girl anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's bullshit. And I think anybody in any sort of situation where there's any kind of discrimination, you have to be strong in yourself and go for it anyway.
Anyways.
Yes. And the moment you step back and think, well, I'm just a girl, or English isn't my first language, or whatever it may be, you do that to yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
There is discrimination. There's no doubt about that. But do your best to rise above it.
I truly believe so. I really do. And and that's where being an entrepreneur, being a business person is where they put us, like, we are putting ourselves out there, investing in ourselves, in helping, because the deal, that's why I started this podcast too, because I said I think I have quite a bit of knowledge, information for what I've been through, and I would like to share that information with others.
Right, right. I think that one of the great things too is just you and I talking here too. We've never met in person and it's okay. And I love meeting people out here that come from different places, that have different ideas. The whole point is to meet people and interact with those that are different from ourselves. The moment we start building walls and protecting ourselves against people who are different than ourselves, that's when stagnation starts.
It's called social media engagement because
Yeah,
you gotta get on the phone, you gotta talk, you gotta hear that voice,
yeah,
something.
yeah. And I mean, it's difficult because social media, okay, there can be an addictive kind of
Yeah, the
side to
gratification
it.
part. Yeah, the
Yes,
misunderstood one. Mm-hmm.
yes, yes. And there's also that balance between being a content creator and a content consumer.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
That can be a lot of pressure on people as well. And some people, some of the most successful, I would say, podcasts, it seems to me, do not have a lot of interaction with people. It depends on what the show is, I think.
mm-hmm.
I like to have interaction with people. And I think the messaging feature that's available here on the Anchor platform, this record with friends that we're doing, and I know there's a lot of technology. There are definitely podcasts that are built entirely on interviews, of course. But I think, I don't know, it's hard to find the balance of putting things out and then going around and spending energy consuming other people's stuff. And you triggered me, by the way, when I was listening to your show the other day, and what you just said a minute ago, too, is about how you want to know so many things and you want to consume and learn and learn. But sometimes I caution people to be careful with that kind of idea and concept because if you try too hard to consume everything, if you try to read all of those Marianne Williamson's books or whatever it may be, everything, and you gobble up all, what you, no matter how good the information is, you may not pay attention to the one book that may really sink into your soul because you're so busy reading all of them.
Well, that's where I think I decided to make a balance on my shows for that reason because I like the piece where I have Thursday thoughts because it's kind of like my meditation, not only telling it to myself, but I also share it with everybody else of what I have learned. And that
Mhm.
has been an exercise that I usually practice pretty much every Sunday where you gotta make a stop and say, this is my me time. This is the
Mhm.
time that I connect with myself. This is the time that I connect with God. This is the time that I'm going to listen to my thoughts. I'm actually asking my question, where is that fear coming from? What exactly is stopping me from doing
Right,
this?
right, right. That's perfect. Yes, yes. It's so funny because, like I said, I have teen kids. And so when my son is really hungry and he has a huge plate of food and he starts eating too fast and it's flying everywhere, you know, some you can end up wasting a lot. And it's the same thing with personal training. Don't work out for 2 weeks and then you go crazy and then you're going to be hurt yourself. It's
Yep.
like
It's
you have to
balance. It's
balance. You have
balance.
to
And
have it. Yes,
a lot of that is
yes,
balance. It really is.
yeah, yeah. And not letting your ego get in the way. That comparison to other people,
Oof, that's
too,
totally
of course.
poison. Don't do it. I'm like, I
Yeah,
am an
yeah.
advocate of saying, and it really took me a while. It truly, it took a point where if you do have the time, obviously, if you're working and everything, I know it is, but there's a time in your life that things are gonna happen, and it's just really telling you to stop and look at yourself. What are you doing? Who you surrounded with, and where you heading? I really needed to really
Yeah.
isolate myself in order to create what I had to
Mhm.
do.
Yes.
You are now listening to Yo VT featuring Maria Humphreys here on Anchor.fm. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after these messages.
So let me tell you what I've been doing, by the way, with my podcast a little
Okay.
bit. I've started to. Do you have a
I
YouTube channel,
do.
Yovi?
I have to work on it a little bit more. I think, as I say, yeah,
You know
I
what?
I started the
Yeah.
podcast because I say, well, verbally, I think I felt more comfortable with the platform. It really came out really handy. At the point, I've been aware about YouTube. Now we have IGTV and all of these great tools. And Definitely, yes. And I'm going to check out your YouTube.
Well, I think for podcasters, my YouTube show is I'm moving my podcast in some cases over to YouTube and putting the audio show to still
Excellent.
photos.
Excellent.
Because a lot of people are listening to YouTube more than
That's
watching it
correct.
anyway.
That's correct.
I'm of the mind that I don't know, Yovi, who's supposed to hear my voice. I feel like they're pulling me out there, and I don't need to. I love the interaction. I love the messages and everything, of course. But at the same time, it's okay with me if a bunch of people hear me and I don't even know who they are. I don't need to know who they are necessarily, but I don't know where my voice is supposed to go. So I'm getting more and more comfortable about hopping around onto other social
That is
media
great.
platforms,
Yeah.
because some of it too, like from Instagram, I going live. I used to not go live very much, but now I'm kind of figuring out how to do the live and then repurpose it onto Facebook and to YouTube. But it's the same exact live video that I did on Instagram.
Well, if it works for you,
And
yeah.
I can
Well, that's what they say. You work with what you have. Obviously, I will tell you from my end, or what I know is each platform serves a purpose. Facebook has a purpose, Instagram has a purpose, and so on, and YouTube. But yes, you can do that, and you are using it pretty well. And the keyword is repurpose. You may change or alter the message, but you actually customizing it for each platform.
Yeah.
That is great.
Yeah. It's kind of working, and that's kind of fun. I just did an interview with Patrick of We Live on a Planet. It was a 30-minute conversation like we're having right now, but YouTube has a 15-minute time limit anyway. So I broke it up into 3 sessions, 3 parts. And I was able to edit it so that it had different topics in each of the 3 sections, which as a listener, I prefer a shorter interview anyway. I don't necessarily have a long time to listen to a particular show, so it's kind of nice. So each of the ones with Patrick is about 10 minutes long, maybe, which may seem long
So
to
how you
some people.
connected
I
with
don't know,
Patrick?
or short. I don't know. Patrick and I started on the Anchor platform at the same time last year. And he and I and a handful of us started around the same time and kind of just grew with it and really support each other. And
I think that's what we are
Patrick's
here in
great.
the Anchor fam, and it's really supporting each other, connecting. I really do, and having the opportunity to get to know each other, where we coming from different walks of life, and the purpose of obviously giving and providing the best that we can.
Right. And I think it's funny because I think a lot of us too, like I said earlier, are saying similar things, but just in our own unique ways. Once in a while, I'll see Gary Vee on Instagram, and he'll be like, all, be positive. He'll say something. I'm like, what? He's been paying attention to my content. He's copying my content.
Hey, honestly, I had a marathon of Gary Vee, and I will definitely give him credit. I don't know if he's gonna listen to me, but I really do. One of his messages really struck me to the chord in jumping into doing this. I really do. It's just like they say.
Yeah.
It's just maybe that voice, that person, and I go from the realm of Oprah, Anthony Robbins, a lot of but then there's somebody that just says something and you're like, okay, that's it, I'm jumping, I'm doing this.
Exactly. And that's why, like, the more people that are saying the similar things but in different ways, it's beautiful because you don't know who's going to read. If 100 people hear what I'm talking about and only a couple of them really go, oh, and like it, that's okay. The other 90 can, go and find and listen to somebody else. Maybe they'll hear it differently from, Positive Vibes or Barbara Faison or Miss Eileen. There are different people. There are people all over the place that are trying to help. We're all trying to elevate each other. And yes, there is a money aspect to it, like the sponsorship thing that just started on Anchor. I do think that it's okay for people to make money. I think it's bad when you start to manipulate your content in
Yeah,
order
that's
to make
the
money.
part that we're